Stahls is known for its marvelous and magnificent machines, where a confluence of elegance and raw history blend into a menagerie of meticulous masterpieces. But this place also isn't afraid to flex its muscle. Not that kind. This kind. This 1969 Firebird helps us strike the pose on this edition of Inside Stahls. Hey, can we do the muscle thing again? I like that. That was good. A world of wonder, where fantastical music machines provide the soundtrack for a tantalizing stroll through history. Vintage automobiles and memorabilia stimulate the senses around every chromed curve and corner. This is Inside Stahls. Some cars are rare, and then there are cars that represent a moment in time so unlikely, so extreme that they become legends. This is one of those cars. In 1969, Pontiac built thousands of Firebirds. They were stylish, sporty, and designed to take on the best performance cars America had to offer. But hidden among those cars was something different, a Firebird convertible equipped with Pontiac's most aggressive engine package, the Ram Air 4 400. Which made them rarely spotted in the wild, but real bird watchers knew this wasn't just an ordinary 1969 Firebird. Eureka! Truly one of the rarest examples of Pontiac performance ever created. The late 1960s were the golden age of the muscle car era. Detroit was locked in a horsepower battle. Chevrolet had the Camaro, Ford had the Mustang, Mopar had the Challenger and the Charger. But Pontiac had a different philosophy. Pontiac believed a performance car should not only be fast, it should have style, attitude, and personality. The Firebird arrived in 1967 as Pontiac's entry into the pony car market, sharing its basic platform with the Camaro, but quickly developing its own identity. By 1969, Pontiac had transformed the Firebird into a serious performance machine. The styling was sharper, the stance was more aggressive, and under the hood was a weapon designed for enthusiasts who wanted the ultimate Pontiac experience. Finished in this stunning dark blue with parchment interior and white convertible top, this Firebird was a perfect example of Pontiac's vision for performance and elegance. But it wasn't built to simply sit still, it was built to make an entrance. New sheet metal was introduced in 1969, creating a sleeker, restyled look. The Ram Air hood was also new for 1969. Equipped with a flapper valve, the driver could open to force cold air into the polyform sealed air cleaner. The badging was minimal, which helped conceal what was really hiding under the hood. But combined with aggressive front-end styling, the 1969 Firebird had plenty of attitude. But the real story begins when you do this. Because underneath the hood, this Firebird separates itself from every other first-generation Firebird ever built. At the heart of this machine is Pontiac's legendary 400 cubic inch Ram Air 4 V8. Factory rated at 345 horsepower, the Ram Air 4 was one of Pontiac's most serious performance engines of the era and was typically offered in the GTO at the time. But the numbers only tell part of the story. The Ram Air 4 featured specifically designed cylinder heads, high-flowing round-port exhaust, a more aggressive camshaft, and components engineered to move air faster and make power at higher RPM. This wasn't just a bigger engine, this was Pontiac engineering pushed toward the edge. The factory WH code engine in this Firebird, along with the correct Ram Air 4 components, is what makes this example historically significant. During the muscle car era, it wasn't uncommon for manufacturers to underrate their horsepower figures, and Pontiac was no exception. This motor actually made closer to 400 horsepower. But the Ram Air 4's true identity was revealed on the street and at the drag strip, proving Pontiac belonged among the elite performance brands of the era. While horsepower grabbed the headlines, Pontiac engineers knew a great performance car needed more than a powerful engine. The Firebird was designed with a driver-focused chassis, performance suspension tuning, available power steering, front disc brakes, and transmission options tuned to enhance the driving experience. The Ram Air 4 cars in 1969 were especially special because all of that power was packed with components designed to handle it. And the little touches made a difference, like this 3-spoke shallow dish steering wheel and locking ignition key, a theft deterrent, because with all of that power and performance, this was one Pontiac packed with personality, which attracted potential perpetrators. Whew, please tell me you got that, please. In 1969, Pontiac produced over 87,000 Firebirds. Over 11,000 were convertibles, but only a handful received the Ram Air 4 engine option. Just 17 Pontiac Firebird convertible Ram Air 4s were ever produced, and among those 17 cars, only about half can be accounted for. That means this car is not simply uncommon. It represents one of the smallest chapters in Pontiac performance history, a chapter written during the final days of the original muscle car era. This car arrived at Stahls after recently undergoing a complete restoration using OEM and NOS components. It was a rust-free car, so many of the factory specs remain intact as well, as is the Pontiac Historical Services record that accompanied the car. As of right now, the odometer reads 83 miles, and yes, it's a car you want to drive, but it's equally enjoyable to look at. Every detail adds another piece to Pontiac's 100-year history, because with cars like this, originality is more than a specification. It's the connection between today and the moment this car rolled out of a Pontiac assembly plant more than 5 decades ago. The muscle car era created thousands of legends. Some were famous because of horsepower, some for their racing success, and others because they were built in numbers so small that history nearly forgot them. The 1969 Pontiac Firebird Ram Air 4 convertible belongs in that final category. It represents Pontiac at its most ambitious, a time when engineers were free to dream, when horsepower mattered, and when a buyer could walk into a dealership and order something truly extraordinary. This Firebird is more than a collector car. It's a time capsule from Detroit's greatest performance era, a reminder that sometimes the rarest legends are not the cars everyone expected. They're the ones almost nobody knew existed. The horsepower started the legend, but the rarity, authenticity, and history and Stahls are what's keeping legends like this 1969 Pontiac Firebird Ram Air 4 convertible alive. And you need to make sure to come out and see it for yourself.